been inside.
Also, Mel spent an emotional weekend back in the bushfire zone, and one small community has a really positive story to share. They're even calling her their lucky charm.
Oh, they won. Go the Eagles. It is 9 minutes past 8 o'clock. Can you believe nearly 3 months have passed since the horror of the Victorian bushfires? 3 months. But have a look. Remember these pictures. The Whittlesea footy ground became a command post for all the firefighters and the fire trucks and everyone, all the guys working to bring the blazes under control.
Thankfully, those days have passed. The fire trucks have gone. The footy players are back on the field for the new season. And Mel has been made the Whittlesea Eagles' #1 ticket holder.
So proud. I was lucky enough to be invited to their first home match of the year. And what better way to mark a game like this than Anzac Day?
Round 2 means everything to us today. Win the first quarter. Win the first round.
A big game. A big day. The first home match for the Whittlesea Eagles, playing on Anzac Day. It's a time to remember not only the fallen, but the family and the friends killed in the fires. Vice-Captain Evan Murray buried 4 members of his family just before the match. But now, a new start, a time for Whittlesea Footy Field to be transformed back to its former glory so the club can do what it does best. How does it feel to see your football field back being a football field? I mean, last time I saw it, it was covered in fire trucks.
To be honest, I didn't think we'd even get to play on it this season.
Really?
No, really, because the condition the ground was in. I didn't think we'd get funding, which we were promised, but it did come through, and we haven't used the ground. Today's the first day that we've actually been on it, so it's marvellous.
Well, last time I was in the change rooms, instead of players, it was full of drips and you know, bandages and all of that sort of stuff. Is it a focus? Is it that you need a focus? You need something positive to concentrate on after what happened?
Definitely, yeah. That's the main thing. And look, the kids are more affected than what we are because they're the ones that have lost their grandparents, mothers and fathers and family members. Once everybody packed up and went home, then we kind of got back to a little bit of normality too. Like we weren't out on the TV every night and every morning, but yeah, it's just great to get back to footy. And if we can get a win here today, we'll be even more positive.
How good is it to have the guys back playing, the footy field back as a footy field?
I just think it shows the diversity of the community that we're able to put up with these things and go through the trauma of the bushfires and then still be able to now come back here and let's get back to normal as quick as we can.
What do you reckon? How good is it to see the boys back out on the footy field?
Oh, it's great. And seeing the oval like this, it's really good.
Yeah. It's great for the boys and we can't survive without it.
We couldn't survive without it.
Saturday afternoons, this is all we've got in the town.
They love it.
Well, it's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
As this town knows, things don't go always to plan. The Lower Plenty Bears made a comeback.
Focused on your role, prepared to have a crack. Come on, boys. Get in.
But the Eagles held on, doing it for their community. Evan, well played.
Thank you very much.
Tell me the significance of today for you.
A really, really long day for me today. I started off today with a funeral for 4 of my family members, straight from there, straight out in the ground, so it was really important for us to get, you know, a really solid win on the game. And
I noticed your armbands.
The 2 armbands, obviously respect for the Anzac still. They did a wonderful job back then. And this one for not just my family, but every family and a few of the other people that are affected by the bushfires.
How important do you think just walking out of here, heads held high for the boys tonight?
Yeah, for the community at large too. You know, it's all about that normal process coming back into play. You know, I reckon. So, I'm really happy for them.
Isn't that fantastic?
Great story.
Hang on.
That's really good.
That guy buried 4 of his family members just Saturday morning.
Yeah. There's been a lot of funerals, a lot of how do I say this delicately? A lot of bodies have only just been released back to the families for burial. I interviewed a gentleman the day before. We'll show you that probably next week. Who'd buried his father as well. So it's taken this long. I mean, you think a fire comes through, there's so much more. I mean, even wandering around looking at a lot of houses haven't even begun the clean-up as far as the mess that's left behind. You know, there's sort of melted vehicles, let alone houses that have burnt down. I mean, there's so much work ahead of them. Also, just quickly in the interview, there was a whole lot of white tents at the background you saw at the foot of the burnt mountains. They're full of things like furniture, you know, white goods and beds and things that have been donated to help people. But because a lot of people still don't have a home yet, it's all still being stored because there's nowhere for them to take it to. So there's just so much work to do. So thank you so much to everyone for welcoming myself and our crew in the way that you did. We were just absolutely honoured and touched to be there, and I promise we'll come back and check on not just Whittlesea but everybody. And one more quick thank you to Essendon who donated a fully signed jumper. So we've given that to the Whittlesea Footy Club as a bit of a fundraiser because there's so much work to do. So thanks to Essendon and everybody. We'll let you know how everyone's managing because I know everyone cares. The whole country cares.
And it is a good reminder for the rest of us, the rest of the country, not to forget them just because they're off of the front pages, that they're still going through a lot of hurt. That
recovery has barely begun, so we'll let you know.
That's fantastic.
Some more breaking news just coming at the moment, and this picture in from Whittlesea at the weekend. Our Melissa Doyle just savouring the moment and adding to the local pie shop economy.
Very good, locally made, best I've ever had.
Isn't that great? Now you know you're at the country.
Look at the way she's chomping into it. That's our girl. Ruth Stanley says, thanks for coming to Whittlesea on Saturday. I have family in Whittlesea and was at the footy on Saturday. I came up and spoke to you and found you to be as delightful in real life as you appear on Sunrise. Ruth, let me have a quiet chat to you a bit later on. But and thank you for your loyalty. So that's a very nice thing from Ruth. Well done.
I'm going to bring the boys back for a game. Nat, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying too, doesn't it bring you back to the country footy match when everyone beeps when they score
everyone
a goal?
sat in the car and
people
we had a bit of intermittent rain, so everyone would scurry into their cars, and every time got a goal, everyone would honk their horns.
And how lucky for you to get the change out, the smell of the liniment, strapping.
Not usually.
We're out at the door, and I could smell it, and it was the first thing I thought was that's your line. You know, the season's starting.
Get your blood racing, doesn't it? Eh?
Yeah, it certainly did.
Something did.
They're all lovely, fully dressed. It was okay. Well, I don't often go into a men's footy change room, so.
And you'll be back for more.
Yep.
Okay.
It's all part of being #1 ticket holder. If I have to do it, I have to do it. Yeah. Yeah, and also just want to say a very big thank you on behalf of Evan's family who we spoke to in our Whittlesea story. His mum's called in to say thank you so much for all the phone calls they've had from around the country of family and friends calling in with their support. Evan mentioned that it was a memorial that he went to just before the game, so it wasn't actually a funeral as he mentioned, it was a memorial service, but his family just wanted to say thank you very much for all the support. So
and
a
also
lot of tough times ahead.
Focuses on us not forgetting the people that area and still what they're going through.
As I said, exactly. There's a lot ahead. So we promise that we'll be back and we'll stay in touch and let everyone know how you're going.